We're moving in a new direction, moving forward, and moving beyond smoking. We are Altria, and our companies are leading the way in moving adult smokers away from cigarettes by taking action to transition millions toward potentially less harmful choices. As we move from being known as a tobacco company to being recognized as a tobacco harm reduction company, Altria is moving beyond smoking. Find out how at altria.com.
We got goals, we got comebacks, we got yellow cards, but most importantly, Richarlison got a goal. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amogh.
And I am Mukesh. Did we do it right? Yes?
You're a bastard, you know that? That's how this show opens. You're a fucking truth.
Thank you, Amogh. I know you love me.
It feels like I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Where have you been?
I have attended a friend's wedding. Was back in the south and I ate so much rice.
Nice. Just playing into the South Indian stereotype.
Fully. I was wearing a dhoti. I was eating lots of rice. What are the other ones? It was really hot.
I don't know why you're looking at me and asking me for South Indian stereotypes with you being the South Indian in the room.
But we don't walk around being like, hey, let's stick to the stereotypes. You come up with the stereotypes and I check if I stuck to them or
I'm
not.
sorry, I'm a Maharashtrian. We love sticking to stereotypes. Every time we have nothing to do, we beat up a taxi driver. So, it's great.
Oh,
but,
that's what happened to my dad.
Yeah. Oh, he was your dad? Shit. Whoops.
Oopsies.
Would have given him a friends and family discount. No kicks, only punches.
Only punches.
None of that happened, okay? We don't like violence here at the Corner Flag.
No, but I did go to Chennai.
That happened. That was true.
Happened. That's where I was for the longest time.
Yeah. It feels like I went 2 weeks without even hearing from you. Which is normal because even when you're in the city and we have to do recordings, there are times when you just go missing in action. You stop responding to WhatsApp messages, calls, anything. So it's anybody's guess where you are. But this time, because you went away for a long time, I started missing you, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what did you think about when you missed me? Like, what did you miss about me?
Everything. The contours of your face, the way your hair flies around in the wind.
Amogh, are we moving in?
Basically, I'm trying to waste as much time before we talk about Man United. I don't want to do that this week.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm with Akarsh again or something.
Why? Because the depression is
Just
seeping
the
in.
depression that's setting in.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be a United fan because when our players are not around beating women, they are finding it very hard to beat defenders and score goals. So it was a terrible fucking weekend.
So it starts straight. With
No,
United?
we won't.
Okay.
That's second in the run order. I thought because you're coming back to the podcast and back to Bombay and back into my life after a very long time.
Shit, I'm really the only good news you've had in a while.
Yeah, seriously.
Life's been that bad for United fans.
Very bad, guys. And for all the United fans listening, let's start a support group. I think we need it. But no, we begin with Liverpool's comeback victory against Wolves because I feel like comebacks were the story of this game week.
Yep.
3-1 scorelines were also the story of this game week. And United being on the end of that one does not really help. But Liverpool played Wolves at the Molineux. Wolves going ahead in the 6th minute through Hwang Hee-chan.
Yeah.
Huang. Let's just call him Hwang.
We're correct till there, so it's good. Let's stick to when we are ahead.
Yeah. The guy who's not Heung-min Son.
Yeah. That's any guy, I guess.
Any South Korean guy.
Yeah, is definitely not.
Yeah. The guy who's not Heung-min Son and is not a part of BTS.
Yes.
He scored. He's the guy who scored from the south of Korea, not the north, because those guys are fucking weird.
Isn't that Tomoyasu? Oh shit, sorry.
That's Japanese, dude.
I know,
Let's keep the racism to one country, not an entire area.
Yeah, let's just keep it to South Indians, guys.
Yeah, correct. Closer to home.
Closer to home.
But do they even consider it home?
Easier to beat them up.
Yeah. When I spoke about beating people up, I meant North Indians, not South Indians. South Indians, we're fine, we're friends, we're allies.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Okay, fine. I'll take. I like how you said allies. It's not even love. It's just allies.
Yeah. Kaam se kaam.
Yeah, exactly. It's such an unromantic relationship.
It is, absolutely. But yes, let's talk about Wolves and Liverpool because that was a very romantic comeback. And I mean, Wolves started off so well, and this is a team which has not played well last season. Did not start playing well at the start of the season. I think a lot of us had them as relegation candidates because Lopetegui, who was a good manager, left them halfway into preseason. So Gary O'Neill taking over seemed like a bit of a gamble, regardless of what he did with Bournemouth last season to keep them up. You know, he did a fantastic job. But him at Wolves was always going to be tough. This is a team that does not score goals. Historically, they've found goal scoring very, very tough. But they started the game off really well, and scoring in the 6th minute against this Liverpool side, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I think before I begin to criticize Liverpool, I think first Wolves were amazing. Whether it was Pedro Neto, I thought was running the game. I think Liverpool had only one DM, I think, in the first half, and I think Alexis McAllister couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah,
and I think he caused the goal. He made it happen. He did all the hard work.
Got through three defenders.
I think Joel Matip is to blame. Joel Matip is a little too old now. He can't run all of that. He couldn't turn around as fast. But at the end of the day, I thought Neto was amazing in the lead up to the first goal. He terrorized Liverpool in the first half.
Yeah.
He put the ball back in the Neto.
Yeah.
Except for that, he did pretty much everything.
I mean, he gave it to Hwang to put it back in the
Neto. Yes.
But I want to ask you about Alisson's positioning for that goal, right? Because when Neto puts in the cross, it looked like Alisson was quite close to the ball. Like, should he have dived to save the cross, to cut off the cross?
I think there were two things that had two defenders that got beat, right? One is Matip got beat and then Alisson was taken aback because that should have been an easy takedown for a centre back.
It's a little weird that Alisson is surprised that Matip got beat. Why is he surprised?
And then
Does he not see this in training every day?
No, and I think the second person who was surprised was Robertson, because I think Robertson would have ideally should have stuck out a leg maybe to push it off for a corner.
Yeah.
But then he was caught out of the back, and then I think there was too little time to really make a good decision.
Yeah.
And then I think he got to the ball, but it was just too late. He was way too behind in the goal.
Yeah. Lots of chances Liverpool had in the first half as well. There was that lovely little bit of skirmish in the penalty box with Jose Sa making some great saves, and the Wolves defense also.
I actually thought this weekend was the goalkeeper's weekend.
It was.
Every goalkeeper, even on the losing side, or particularly on the losing side, has made some great saves, except for barring United.
Except for Onana. I mean, Onana had one good save from Ansu Fati, and we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
So there was a lovely skirmish in the 6-yard box and in the penalty box. I think Szoboszlai took a shot that was saved very well by Jose Sa with his feet. Also, I just love the fact that it's not just us who have trouble pronouncing Szoboszlai's name. Even the commentators, I think they called him Soloslai or something.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't call him Dominic. Let's just say Dominic and be done with it.
Just Big Dom.
Big Dom, yeah.
Just call him that. But it just felt like Wolves should have capitalized on their aggression in the first half, on the momentum that they had in the first half, because they had so many chances. They should have been 2-3 goals up.
I think this is the sign of a team that probably, because I think against United also they played better than United for most of the time, but they still ended up on the losing side. I don't think they even collected 1 point against United, right?
No.
So I think they obviously don't have that clinicality that they require. I think they're much better than their position on the table suggests. But I think whether it's Gary O'Neill, whether it's the lack of defensive structure, I don't think they have what it takes to close out, which makes it much easier for someone like Liverpool. Like, you can be behind for a whole half and then still kill them off in the game for 45 minutes. So I think they clearly have some electric attack. Yeah. Maybe through Neto, maybe through Hwang, but their defense and midfield seems a little too
defense maybe. Midfield, I think with the players that they have, I think they're still kind of robust in midfield. It's just like you said, the clinicality, the clinicalness,
the James Milner-ness to sit on balls.
Wait, I'm sorry. The James Milner is not clinical.
No, but he's clinical in making sure games are done. Right? I think that's a special thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like they need someone like that. Gary O'Neill started his career at Liverpool.
Yeah.
When he was a couple of years ago. And he was there during the Liverpool era when they didn't know how to close out games.
Yeah.
So he just knows the part where they can score goals, but they didn't know how to defend.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably just learned those tactics before he became a manager.
Right. And the thing is, Jurgen Klopp must have been really, really happy going into halftime just 1-0 down, right? And having weathered the storm that Wolves were presenting. Because at 1-0 down at halftime, if there's one thing that you can count on is Jurgen Klopp will get Liverpool back to performing the way they need to perform and get something out of the game. Because 1-0 is not a difficult scoreline to overcome.
I think they want it to be 1-0 now. I think if it's 0-0, they don't know what to do. I feel like if it's 1-0, they have a game plan in action.
Yeah.
So I think even the one result, which like where we didn't collect 3 points, was against Chelsea, where it was 0-0. Maybe if Chelsea had scored, I think Liverpool would have come out with 3 points.
Yeah.
But because Chelsea didn't score, I think Liverpool had no plan of action. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the biggest things that Klopp did at halftime was, of course, take McAllister. Alexis. Macca. Big Mac. They took Big Mac off at 45 minutes and brought in Luis Diaz, which again is a fantastic change because Diaz is more attacking, he's more direct, he'll cause problems.
Liverpool was playing a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Or maybe rather a 4-1-2-3.
Yeah.
With McAllister being like the sole number 6.
Yeah.
But I think when Luis Diaz came, they switched to a 4-2-3-1 with Zlobos. Big Dom. AKA Big Dom.
Yeah.
Zlobos.
Subhash guy. As
I prefer Zlobos.
Okay.
AKA Big Dom performing double pivot role, which then took Neto out of the game because there were 2 people to mark him, and then I think once Neto was cut off, Wolves had no plan.
Yeah.
And then you have Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz who can just take 1 to 1.5 players away with them, and then it's just like Robertson is scoring goals.
Yeah.
Scoring the winning goal.
Yeah.
And even Cody Gakpo, who probably had a terrible game, sort of got 1 goal, which is why he was taken off, even though he scored a goal.
Yeah.
He was taken off at 60 minutes. I think Núñez came because he needed some chaos. And I think Harvey Elliott came. Maybe he didn't score the goal, but it was his shot that got the goal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen Harvey Elliott. He's like shorter than a tripod stand.
Yeah.
Which I mean, he's not a good starter, but like, he's good when people
tripod stands, very famously height adjustable. So, not the best metaphor that you could think of.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, Amogh. I'm a little.
You looked around the room. I could see the panic in your eyes. You looked around the room. Oh shit! You set yourself up for that metaphor, and you're like, oh shit! I don't have an example. Look around the room. What's the first thing I see? Camera tripod. Yes, that is the perfect thing to talk about when speaking about somebody's height.
What's a thing that's small like that?
Your
short.
dick.
Oh my god!
I missed you way too much, dude.
Yeah, man. That's a nice thing to say after my dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my parents listen to this podcast.
Do they?
No, they don't.
Okay, good. They should. We'll get more listeners.
No, so I was going to say Harvey Elliott is great, I think, when he comes on as a sub, because like he's good against when people are tired, because then that removes the physicality out of the game.
Yeah.
Or when people do foul him, they do. When people do try to muscle him out, they tend to become fouls, which wins you free kicks.
Yeah.
So I think all in all, great game management, but I think Liverpool still sucks for the first 15 minutes. I think that's probably when teams should score like 2-3.
As a United fan, take what you have.
Yeah, take what I get.
Enjoy the win. These moments are fleeting. You can't be like Liverpool are fuck all in the first 15 minutes. It's fine. United are fuck all for 90 minutes.
That's actually untrue, but okay, we'll get to that.
It's very, very true. They're fuck all for 85 minutes. Fine. Yeah. Better. Okay. But no, just going back to McAllister, Klopp said that he was relieved to be taken off at 45 minutes because, of course, he played for Argentina against Bolivia in a World Cup qualifier, and the match was played in Bolivia at La Paz, which is at a famously high altitude. Yeah. So breathing becomes very difficult when you're playing there. And McAllister had to be given an oxygen mask to kind of cope with the effects post-match. So he was knackered.
I think he was not up for the game.
Yeah.
He was probably just too sweet and kind to say no.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I'll turn up. I'll do what I want.
He seems like the kind of guy who never says no.
Yeah. So I think he just went. He got screwed, and then Klopp was like, dude, just say no next time. Your politeness is costing us games.
Yeah. You think that's like in his family history, because his name is Alexis McAllister. He's famously of Scottish heritage, right? Like I think great grandparents or something, one half is from Scotland. So you think that it goes from there? Somebody in Scotland said, we're moving to Argentina, and they really didn't want to go. Like, yes, sure, okay, I guess.
But that's how he got a successful career in football. So
he won a World Cup.
Yeah,
so.
Never say no except if Klopp is asking you. to play.
Yeah, correct. If Klopp is asking you to play, that's when you can say no. Is that what you're saying?
That's the only time you should
There's a player mutiny on Liverpool's hands then if they're listening, because of course Liverpool players listen to this podcast.
Yes, all of them do. They message me personally.
Exactly. They're going to get instigated by your comments and they're going to be like, no, if Mukesh said, so we will say no to Klopp.
We will never say no to Klopp.
Acha, never say no.
Never say no.
You will never say no.
Yeah.
I should not, as a United fan, be talking about saying no.
Yep.
That is something that is not in the vocabulary of United players, apparently. So, the less said about that, the better. But let's go to United. United 1, Brighton 3. Fuck me, dude. Like...
No, Mocha, I'm not getting into this again.
Why?
Not with you saying fuck me. I don't know what's happening.
No, I'm just talking about the game. Nothing about you.
Yeah. Good.
Nothing about you.
Yeah.
I swear, dude, nothing about you. Don't be awkward.
Nah, United fans, United players, no idea. No. But okay, honestly, talking about the game, I think United were pretty good for the first 20-25 minutes. I don't think.
Yeah, but that's it. And not even first 20-25 minutes. I think first 10 minutes they were good. They started off on the front foot. They played really well. Brighton didn't know what to do. And then against the run of play when Welbeck scores that goal. Fantastic goal, by the way. Lovely teamwork.
Adam Lallana doing tricks.
I mean, that's what, like...
Adam Lallana.
I just want to point out the absolute bullshit nature of this goal. When Adingra puts in a pass, Adam Lallana does a fake. Adam fucking Lallana does a fake. I'm surprised that man is still alive.
Yeah.
He does a fake and then Danny Welbeck, of all people. Danny Welbeck.
Started the game.
Who started the game?
I'm like, for Liverpool, oh my God, he couldn't come out at 90th minute without being injured. And he's starting games doing fakes. I feel like he should get an assist just for the fake. Like, you know,
he should, right? He
should. It was such an excellent fake.
Excellent fake. And it was a beautiful team goal. But you also have to criticize United because it was so badly defended. McTominay was jogging back. He should have been tracking Welbeck's run.
I mean, Amogh, if Adam Lallana has the confidence to fake you,
delete the club.
Yeah, because I actually think Adam Lallana was a great player pre-injuries, and I seen him post-injuries, and he's a shit player post that.
Yeah.
And to see him, to give him the confidence to do fakes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That too in the box. That too when the ball is not on the ground. He had to jump over an aerial ball.
This was at Old Trafford, correct?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what? He didn't even, that's crazy. That's, oh my God. That is when you really should be ashamed. And I'm saying this as someone who loves Adam Lallana.
Yeah,
oh
I know.
My God.
No, that is the point when I started feeling ashamed of Man United. So I'm completely with you on that one. It was just
next get nutmegged by James Milner.
Probably.
That's the next one.
Probably going to happen. But yeah, since that goal went in, since we went 1-0 down, there was no response. It was you could see visibly that United's game plan was just going to shit, and they didn't know what to do. We started giving the ball away very easily. We couldn't put two passes together. Very little attacking threat.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I do think there's a lot of attacking threat. I do feel like, and I don't know if this is the correct thing to say, but I will say it anyway, which is that I do feel like Rashford has a bit of a hero complex.
He does. I think he does.
He wants to do the hero thing.
Okay.
Because I did see that he was crossing it to Højlund. Of course, there were a lot of, he could cross it a lot more to Højlund and trusted Højlund a lot more to finish things off, but he does suffer from a little bit of hero complex.
Yeah.
He doesn't defend at all.
I disagree though. I don't think it's anything to do with the hero complex. I think it's just purely his decision making is a little lacking. Right. And you're right. He was one of the only players who provided some sort of attacking threat. Every time he had the ball, you had a feeling that he can create something out of it because he has done in the past. It's just that in this game particularly, it was so frustrating because he would run at the defenders and the defenders knew exactly what they wanted to do. It was so painfully obvious. They were showing him on his left foot because they know he wants to cut in and take a shot with his right. Right, that's his preferred mode of attack. And very clearly, the Brighton defense were instructed to show him on his left foot. So as soon as he had the ball outside the box, you had at least two Brighton defenders showing him on his left foot. What that meant was he had to keep going further and further away from goal to the point where he was in a corner and in a cul-de-sac, right? Like there's nowhere else to go.
And there's no one, I think, was there no Wan-Bissaka? There was no Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka was not.
Because he's Sancho's friend. There's no Wan-Bissaka. Because I think, at least if there was some attacking threat behind him, he could have cut back, maybe passed back.
No, but Reguilon was playing on his wing, right? Sergio Reguilon made his debut. He was playing left back.
Yes, he was playing. I thought he was a great game. He was a really passionate player.
No, again, just staying with Rashford, I feel like when he has the ball. And I don't know if this is a criticism of Rashford or if we need to be appreciative of how Brighton managed that game and managed that player in particular. Because the game plan, as somebody watching it on the television, the game plan from Brighton was very, very clear. They knew that Marcus Rashford was going to be the biggest attacking threat.
Yeah.
And they knew that because Erik ten Hag made, in my opinion, a big tactical blunder by playing Bruno Fernandes on the right wing. That is not his best position. He's going to be wasted there. And the minute you put Bruno on the right wing, he then starts drifting into areas. He has a free role. So that right wing is essentially useless. There's nobody there apart from the right back. That's it. So Brighton knew that most of the attacks are going to come from this left wing, from Rashford. And they had a plan for him. They knew they had to just show him onto his left foot, show him into the corner, and he's not going to be able to do anything. And even if he does cut in, if he does manage to get through those two defenders and cut in, get everybody else to block the shot. And that's essentially what kept happening. He kept taking shots, they kept getting blocked. So there was no outlet for that creativity that he was threatening to create.
And also the other thing was, other than of course pushing United players as close to the wings as possible, maybe also teething pains because United have a striker but the players don't know how to use him yet.
Yeah.
Because so far United have relied on Rashford either to perform these duties. Right? I think maybe they don't know what to do now that they have a striker, how to use him. Maybe they've forgotten how to use a central man. So I think that's one. But also Brighton play compact in front of the D. Yeah. Which is also how they got, I think, the way to unlock Brighton, which I don't know if that's the way Liverpool's finally going to get their goals when they play Brighton, I think 1 or 2 games away, is to take shots from outside the box. Yeah. Which is how they eventually got the goal. And I think that is probably what they should have tried a lot more, is take those long shots. It's fine if you're getting pushed. I think this is where I'm saying maybe Rashford, I'm not saying you have to assist only Højlund, but if you're cut back and maybe fed in balls outside the big D, you're anyway cornered, feed in, maybe not directly to Højlund, but feed into the big D, let people take shots from there. I don't know who the best shot takers are at United.
I mean, you have Eriksen, you have Bruno, you have
of course,
Casemiro can put in one.
Yeah, so I know Bruno is great. I'm saying someone like that, then I think it could have probably worked. Yeah. And that's because it did clearly seem like that's the only way Brighton were going to be unlocked, and that's the risk they were willing to take.
Yeah. And okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about this game was that Erik ten Hag had a tactical disaster class in this game, because I mean, you don't have Anthony available because he's got allegations of domestic abuse against him. You don't have Sancho available because you're fighting with him on a personal level, and apparently his training performances are not up to scratch. So you have 2 bona fide right wingers who are not available. At this point, if I was managing Man United, I would give Garnacho or Pellistri a shout.
Yep.
Even though they're young, they are still wingers. They do have that intensity. They have the legs in them to keep going and keep attacking the Brighton defense, and especially a Brighton defense that didn't have Estupiñán in left back.
Yeah.
One of their most established and one of their best players in that back 4 was not available for this game. Tariq Lamptey was playing in left back. Tariq Lamptey is a good player. He's played really well for Brighton, but he's been largely out of favour at Brighton. He's had loan spells. Even when he's back at the club, he's not been starting. He's barely been getting minutes. He's an untested player. I think it was his first appearance for Brighton this season. There was a great chance there to make something happen from the right wing. And you put either Pellistri or Garnacho up against Lamptey and you have a chance to create something out of that right flank. And he didn't go for that. He went for Bruno at right wing, which is just the worst thing you can do, because he has tried Bruno there and it's never worked. Bruno works best when he's playing attacking midfield.
And I think the minute the game plan doesn't seem to work, players are going to somehow float into their favoured areas.
Yeah.
Which also happened with United is that the right wing was basically empty.
It was completely
empty.
Which
meant like they could completely overload on the left.
The other option, if you don't want to play Pellistri or Garnacho, play Diego Dallo at right wing, man. You've got him. He's a right back, yes, but you've always understood that he has more attacking capabilities than defensive. And Dallo actually had a good game yesterday when he went up on the attack. He was beating his man fairly well. He did quite well in the attacking third as a right back. Play Dallo at right wing and play Wan-Bissaka right back. Do that, but don't waste your best player, your captain, the guy who you've given the armband to because he is your most influential, your most talented player. Don't waste him on the right wing, which is not his favoured position. Keep him in his favoured position and build the team around him. Don't use him as the scapegoat or as the free range piece that you can move anywhere to solve whatever problems. And he's the kind of player who'll say yes. He's exactly like McAllister.
Yeah.
He'll play anywhere. You tell him today you're starting in goal because Onana is not playing well. And
Onana's not able to pass, which is not important for.
Yeah, whatever it is. But you're playing in goal. He'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll play in goal. And he'll train for it and he'll do a decent job. But that does not mean that that's his best position or that he's going to be very effective there.
And also, I think this is not a cup final situation where you need him to give it, those iconic performances. It's a cog in a longer's machine.
Yeah.
Which means you need to play him in the better system. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Sometimes when it's one of those like feel things, like a moment in a final where your best player is going to be doing a dirty job, which sort of inspires everybody to do the best. This is not one of those moments.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments you need to just do the dirty work. This is not one of those moments you need to play your best work. The team needs to feel inspired to do their best work than to make some magic happen.
Absolutely.
It needs to feel like habit rather than magic.
Absolutely.
Oof,
wow. That is the line of the episode.
Yeah, I'm coming back to form.
Coming back to form it is. Just to point out the tactical disaster class that Erik ten Hag had. Okay. At about 65 minutes, Brighton are 2-0 up. 2 goals down. All right. And the game time is running out. 2 goals down. Brighton at that point, 2 goals up at Old Trafford. Bring on Ansu Fati and Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro, young Brazilian striker, lots of promise, very, very lethal in
goes
attack.
On to score.
Who goes on to score very, very soon after. And Ansu Fati, one of the most generational talented players from the Barcelona academy. Career stalled a little bit only because of injuries, but phenomenal talent nonetheless. How he's managed to secure a move to Brighton is anybody's guess, but the fact that Brighton have got him is fantastic. And they're bringing on these 2 players when they're 2-0 up. United bring on Anthony Martial and Hannibal.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but who else do they have other than Martial?
But
who else do you bring on? Isn't he a...
You have Pelestri on the bench. You have Garnacho on the bench. Pelestri and Garnacho came on 85th minute.
Isn't Anthony Martial at some level a proven goal scorer?
No, no, he's not. He's not.
I mean, he has scored goals.
That way, to Hannibal also scored a goal, no?
I think, and also he's more of a physical threat. Maybe.
He's not. He does nothing. The minute he came on, he completely went missing. He had barely anything to do with this game.
Theoretically.
But football isn't played on theories, no?
But Ten Hag looks like someone who loves theory. Because I was going to say, I thought, okay, Martial was, these are tired defenders, and I think all the more reason because...
But again, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. Martial is not the answer. If you have tired defenders that you want people to run at, Pelestri, Garnacho, these are the 2 young wingers who will do exactly that. They will bring a lot more energy. They will create a lot more.
Physicality was something that
they're physical as well, yeah. And Martial is not real. I mean,
Martial is.
He's
a little chonky.
He is a little chonky, yes, but. It doesn't amount to shit. It doesn't because he doesn't do shit.
It could have maybe.
It's almost like everybody else at Man United knows कि ये घंटा कुछ करने वाला है तो उसको बॉल ही नहीं देते वो. और उसको जब भी बॉल मिलता है तभी वो घंटा कुछ करता है. It doesn't work out. In fact, Old Trafford, 75,000 people booed when Martial came on, and he came on for Højlund, the guy who was providing some attacking threat.
Yeah,
who had 1 goal. He had a debut goal chalked off because Rashford took the ball outside.
Yeah,
but he had some sense of at least scoring. He was making the right runs. He was doing everything right. And he gets taken off for Martial. Of course, Erik ten Hag said that he's not still at full match fitness to complete 90 minutes. So fair. You want to protect him. You don't want to aggravate any issues that he might have. So fair. But don't bring on Martial, man.
I mean, I see why he did it. I completely get it. I maybe would have risked Højlund for a little longer. Because, I mean, if you're losing 2-0 to Brighton, I think what else are you saving the player for? Like, as in,
the rest of the season.
No, but that means you've...
We're saving him for the Champions League, Mukesh. You remember what that's like?
No, Europa League best.
Are you playing Champions League this season?
We're playing the real league. The League of Champions.
Right.
But it's the Europa League, Amogh. It's the League of Europe, as the name indicates.
Ours is the League of European Champions.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Champions, it seems.
Yeah.
It's like the championship. Anyway, but I I think maybe you could have tried him on for 15 minutes more. Again, because like you said, he was only providing.
I feel like if there is an injury scare, then manager knows best. Like at that point, I don't think fans have any right to.
But Hoyland also looked disappointed to go. I mean, he could have.
But any player will look disappointed to go off. Even if they have one leg missing, they'll be disappointed to go off. That's what football players are like. And it's not great, but for fans, it's great to see. It's not great for the player. But I feel like bringing on Martial was just the worst possible decision.
Also, I want to talk about this other thing, which is that Onana has been terrible. Or maybe and it's probably a confidence issue. Like I don't think that's one, right? Which is Onana's short stopping ability, etc. Maybe it's a confidence issue. Maybe it's like Premier League is a different beast for him. Maybe it's a lot more physical. Maybe it's a little faster. I do feel like maybe it's much faster than what he's used to in Italy. But I think United have bought him for his distribution, right?
Yeah.
The kind of distribution that say Ederson provides. I'm not even taking Alisson's name in that because Ederson is the master at that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I think at Inter Milan, Andre Onana had like probably a midfielder level distribution.
Yeah.
Like those kind of numbers. Whereas I think at United they've gone missing. I don't know if it's a player positioning issue or if it's a player's inability to have a good first touch.
Yeah.
But I think Onana's not being that distributor that he's supposed to be. So
no, he's not, and not yet at least. And the thing that he's been brought for, the thing that he's been spoken about so highly for, is not really seen at the moment. And the thing that David De Gea was good at was pulling out saves where you never thought he could pull out those saves.
Yeah, he kept them. I think United's obviously had a bunch of mediocre 10 years, but at the end of the day, they were still multiple seasons like last season where they finished second. I think with Mourinho once, Ole once.
Yeah.
Under Ten Hag, I think last year once. So they've had, and I think only now probably United, like I've always been a De Gea supporter despite all the jokes and memes. But I think only now will probably United try and see how much he kept them in the hunt.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case.
Because there's 2 goals out of the 3 that De Gea would have stopped, I feel.
Easily. As a short stopper, you'd have at least parried them to the side and then it's up to the defense to do what they want with it. It's up to them if they want to.
मैंने stamp करके तुम्हारे टेबल पे डाल दिया. अभी तुमको जो कर रहा है वो करो.
If you want to kick it back in the net, it's up to you. If you want to clear it up, that's up to you.
Harry, not our goal. That one. The other one, which is farther away. I know this is closer and easier, but that does not mean...
So I think that to me should probably be something, because I do feel like attackers will figure it out. Teething pains. Rashford will probably become less hero-like, less selfish or self-centered, let's say. Yeah. And Hoyland will maybe figure out how to be a little more clinical.
Yeah.
But I think Onana's distribution is a little bit of worry because it's one of those cycles, right? The weaker the defense is, the more wary the goalkeeper is going to be, the more wary the goalkeeper is going to be, the most wary the defense is going to be, even the defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to take out 2-3 players at that level. So I think that's probably a more pressing issue for United than the real pressing issue up front.
Just speaking very quickly on Harry Maguire, Gareth Southgate said, because he had Harry Maguire in the England squad in the recent international break, Gareth Southgate said that the media criticism and the fan criticism that Harry Maguire has been subject to is disgusting, and it's unlike anything he's ever seen a player receive before. And he strongly defended his defender for his performances. And I just want to know what you'd like to think, what you'd like to say about that.
See, I think any amount of social media vitriol is terrible, correct?
Yeah.
But so that's for sure. Like whether the memes, the trolls, all of that, it's terrible. Especially it has been targeted. But the criticism of Harry Maguire as a player, which also exists, by the way.
Yeah. Right,
which is also there. I think that's not unfair.
It's not.
And again, it could be, and in this podcast, whether it's you, me, and Akash, have always believed that Harry Maguire is a wrong man in the wrong system.
Yeah.
To use Harry Maguire, you need a 3-man defense that allows him to be a Tudda who uses his head as he needs to be clearing balls. That's it.
Yeah.
Corners come in, he heads them out. Free kicks come in, he puts his body in the between.
Ball playing defender out of syllabus.
He's not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Right? He's one of those guys he'll commit the foul. He might not always be tactical.
Yeah.
Will get the yellow card, take the red card for the team.
Yeah.
He's a pillar, basically. And I don't mean that in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right? He's the wrong man.
Yeah.
But I think it's unfair to say, obviously I don't expect Southgate to be like, yeah man, he deserves it. I don't expect him to say that. As a manager, he probably should be saying things like this, but I think, of course, social media vitriol is terrible, and not everyone knows. I don't think anyone's out there thinking, yeah man, that's a good thing. But I think the criticism is very much warranted. And there is also legitimate football-related criticism that's there for Harry Maguire, whether it's for England or for Man United. I do feel like he did a very stupid thing by not going to West Ham. Not just for the money that would have meant for United and all of that, but also I think again he chose the hero thing, which is I'll fight for my place. But this is not one of those situations. Because actually the hero thing would have been to go to West Ham and thrive there and make West Ham a legitimate Europe playing team. But he could eventually finish in Europe. They're also going to be playing the Europa League. Take some of his experience, use it there, be the Thudda you were meant to be, man. Be the Thudda.
And especially at West Ham, which are playing really well. West Ham are fucking flying.
And David Moyes knows how to use Thuddas like him. David Moyes has a system at West Ham. David Moyes has gone from trying to play like some Spanish yoga bonito, going back to proper old school English football, which is fantastic. And legitimately as a compliment. And I think Harry Maguire should have done that. He did a very stupid thing by sticking to. Can you imagine Harry Maguire, of all of United's players, had the chance to escape the sinking ship. And he said, I want to sink. That to me is the most Harry Maguire thing of everything he did.
It just goes to show how poor his decision making is.
Literally, United was still at the end of the day a respected team for almost 5 years. Right? They were not trolled like this. In fact, the trolling and the lack of seriousness attached to United began with Harry Maguire. And he had the chance to escape it. And he chose not to for some stupid ideal that he thinks is going to make him sound like brave and valiant. But it's only made him and United a bigger joke. And I think that really is hilarious. And it's the most Harry Maguire and United thing to do. And ultimately explains why they go hand in hand. Maybe they are meant to be together.
They probably are meant to be together. Much like I am, because I had the chance to not be here on this Monday doing this podcast when United have had a shit result. But still I am here listening to this bullshit from you and from everybody else that I listen to this on social media. But yes, West Ham doing really well. 3 wins, a draw and a loss in their last 5, as compared to United's 2 wins and 3 losses in the last 5. Terrible. But yes, let's talk about West Ham, because they started off really strong against Man City, and it was City that got back. But West Ham started off really, really well.
Amogh, have you eaten some humble pie?
I have, yes.
Yes? Do you believe that James Ward-Prowse is our Lord and Savior?
I don't believe that James Ward-Prowse is our Lord and Savior, but James Ward-Prowse did play well. Great goal. Again, like a lovely West Ham counter-attack. Soufal putting in the ball. Lovely, perfect cross. And a low header from Ward-Prowse. I love it when players score the low headers.
It's a diving header.
But it's a low header. It's not a diving header. I'll tell you what it is. It is the kind of goal. It is the kind of goal that one would score in a 5-a-side game that we play, because and only because we don't score a lot of headed goals and we really want to score at least one. Even a low one, we'll be like, no, I'll head this one in.
Amogh, the fact that you're downplaying how incredible. If 6 months ago I told you that James Ward-Prowse will score a diving header that would take his team
up, for the time being top of the table. Or leading at
winning over Man City. Pep Guardiola's Man City. Would you believe it?
No, I would not.
His statistics in 4 games are 2 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, well done.
And my prediction for him was, I said, if James Ward-Prowse scores 5 goals, has 5 assists, and gives 5 clean sheets, and 5 clean sheets in 5 different games compared to those games of 5 goals and 5 assists, his signing he's worth every rupee, every pound they paid for him. And he's already on track at the end of 4 games in a 34-game season. And this is a player known to play 38 games.
I do accept. I was probably wrong in my assessment of James Ward-Prowse. I accept in front of everybody who's listening to this and watching this on YouTube or whatever. I was wrong about James Ward-Prowse. He is playing really well for West Ham. I think Moyes has figured out how to use him perfectly. He is becoming much more than just his free kicks. And that was my biggest criticism of James Ward-Prowse. At Southampton, it just felt like he wouldn't do anything apart from scoring free kicks, which he's phenomenal at. His dead balls are phenomenal, no doubt about it. But at Southampton, it just felt like that's all that he was doing. And the more I see him play for this West Ham team, the more I realize it was because of the shit players that were surrounding him at Southampton.
Yep.
It was not him. Like, there was nobody else who could help him the way he helps people. And that is happening now with West Ham. He's got quality all around him.
Yep, he has Jared Bowen on one side. He has Mikel Antonio who can take on probably two players.
And he has slightly lesser responsibility because being from the Southampton academy, being the captain of Southampton, he had more of a responsibility to stay back and make sure that the defense was tight.
Yep.
So that at least goals are not going. I mean, they did go in anyway and they got relegated. But at least I understand that feeling or that thought process from James Ward-Prowse. And now that he's at West Ham and he's got other players to do that job, he does have the liberty to go up and be a little more of an attacking threat, and that's reaping dividends for Moyes and West Ham. I just want to say that maybe he scored that low header, and it was a diving header, but it was a low header. It because he's like, मैं पैर सिर्फ free kick के लिए use करेगा. I'm not going to waste my feet in like these normal pedestrian things.
Got to protect them leg cells.
Yeah.
We worry about brain cells. He worries about leg cells.
Yeah.
No, I think my favorite moment after was, you know how he has a famous, no, I mean, it's not really famous, but he does
the golf swing.
The golf celebration, except he stopped midway because he's like, well, I'm moving up in life.
Yeah.
I need to be classy. You know what I'm trying to say? He's like, I need to wear formals and shit now. I need to...
I just want to know, like, is that a golf celebration or is that a cricket celebration?
I think it's a golf set. Except I think because he stopped it halfway, it felt like a cricket player's well left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm glad to see he's doing well and he's moving up in life.
Yeah. So am I. As much as you would like to not believe that, so am I. I am very happy to see James Ward-Prowse do well and move up in life. Alphonse Areola, though, the West Ham keeper. What a fucking performance.
What a performance again.
There was that spectacular early on in the game, that the triple save or something that he did. It was mad.
Yeah.
And it's not just him. The entire defensive unit also played a massive part in that little skirmish. But some mad save that he made. And even throughout the game, he had made it his personal mission to deny Erling Haaland a goal.
I know. He made Haaland look slightly pedestrian for a brief moment.
Yeah. And Haaland also had like 6-yard box misses, which he has a lot of, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just that with Erling Haaland, I think everybody's so used to him scoring goals that every miss that he makes is that much more magnified.
I know. Also, I think, it's about, I think there were six big chances and he missed 5 of them.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that, and he's a player who's going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to do that. But I think the kind of talent that he has to pad him up, Doku, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, who was amazing.
Dude, yeah.
I think my theory is that by the time Pep leaves England, and I hope he fucking leaves England to give Liverpool a chance.
Yeah. And Man United.
He's going to leave.
There can be only one bald manager in the Premier League, and that's Erik ten Hag.
I think it's Sean Dyche.
Sorry, purely on baldness quota, I think Ten Hag should win the league after Guardiola leaves.
No, I think Sean Dyche. I don't care if Everton lost.
But by then they'll be in the championship. So they might win the championship.
Yeah, that's true.
In the Premier League.
Or Jurgen Klopp comes out bald.
Fuck these hair transplants.
Yeah. No, I think by the time, because he's been playing, I think Pep has been playing Haaland and Julian Alvarez. I don't know if it's Julian. I'm just saying it because I'm maybe racist, I think. Maybe it's Julian.
No, I think Julian is...
Julian!
Yeah.
Alvarez and...
King Julian.
And Haaland have been playing... He's been playing both of them.
Yeah.
Which is an insane attacking duo. And I think they've contributed about 11 out of 14, whatever.
Yeah.
Some insane number of assists and goals that they have between them for City. I think by the time Pep leaves England, he's going to leave with 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And the cycle will be fully complete. And he came and revolutionized football.
Yeah.
And the revolution is exactly one revolution. And we're back to 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really beautiful thing that Pep is doing.
It's like a revolution around his bald head. Like the sun.
A purely circular thing.
Yeah, purely circular thing. And it's also a 4-4-2 with 4 centre halves.
Yeah.
Like, no attacking in the defense.
No attacking
at all. Fucking 4 thuddas. That's what we need.
4 thuddas and 2 strikers who will score tap-ins.
Yeah.
Which is what really he came to England. That's what it was, and that was the most outdated thing. And that's exactly what managers like Sam Allardyce and who's that? Tony Pulis and all used to do.
Yeah.
Was this, and they were heavily criticized.
He came to England on a mission. He came to England to show them their roots. I will take a mirror and show it to your society.
I will get back.
You like what we did with false nines and attacking inverted fullbacks? Well, I'll try it. But at the end, it is the long ball. Route 1 football.
Yep, the long ball and tap-ins.
And fuck you. This is how long my long ball is going to be. It's not going to be the defense. It's going to be Ederson. Playing the long ball. Right on the head of Erling Haaland, who just heads it in.
Exactly.
That is my version of one-touch, two-touch football. That is the new tiki-taka. There is only one tiki and one taka. That's it. Right on that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll answer your questions. We'll talk about Spurs' comeback at Sheffield United and everything that is going wrong with Paul Pogba. See you on the other side.
Mr. Wonderful here, and I know for small business times are tough. Is there a solution? Yes, the Government Employee Retention Credit Program. It supports small business even if you received a PPP loan. Eligible companies can receive up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. The application is complicated, so I set up WonderTrust.com, a team of live experts you can trust to guide you through filing for the ERC. Go to WonderTrust.com today. That's WonderTrust.com.
Welcome back to the Corner Flag, and we begin as always with your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
We have a couple of questions / comments, mostly comments. From Nimesh Shinde, he says, United, ha ha ha.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's true.
Great analysis there by Nimesh. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and also he also asked us, and also when is LFC going to realize कि भाई एक गोल खाने की पहले ही game start होता है?
हाँ.
Which is also great analysis.
Correct.
Game start
Very
होता है.
astute.
Yeah, because agree.
Top-notch punditry by Nimesh Shinde.
Nimesh Shinde. Mehta.Ishan says, it's time to liquidate United. The amount of good that will come out of this will be unheard of.
Agreed. Completely agreed. That seems like the only way to get the Glazers out of United. If United as an entity stops to exist.
Yeah.
This is what I said in the last episode with Akash also. Like, pura club ko na, Control A, delete, Control S, Control Q, save, shut computer.
Yeah.
Khatam.
And they just come back as Manchester United.
Yeah.
With the completely different owners.
Yeah.
Sherani_Aman, who's a new I think person.
What's up, Aman? Thank you for writing in.
मुंबई सिटी एफसी के बारे में बात करिए अमोघ भाई.
मुंबई सिटी एफसी के बारे में बात करेंगे. अभी तो 7:20 PM हुआ है as we are recording this. So in 10 minutes, Mumbai City FC kicks off their Asian Champions League campaign against Iranian club Nasaji Mazandaran. The match is being held at Pune. So while the recording is happening, we'll be updating ourselves with whatever is happening in the game. So if anything interesting happens, you'll hear it on the episode.
Yeah.
If not, maybe next episode we'll talk about it.
That's true. And Fazil Abbas Banatwala, I can feel that tiredness in this, okay?
Yeah.
He says, no question, just also football sucks.
Yeah.
#United fan.
Yeah.
I felt it. You know what? I'm feeling bad now. You know what, guys? Shut down the United jokes.
Yeah.
Fazil is
United.
feeling really bad.
Shut down the United jokes. Shut down United. Shut down football. सब बंद करो नहीं चाहिए. It's not worth it. But yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you for writing in. We love listening to your questions and answering your questions. So please do keep writing in week in, week out so we can do some bakchodi with your questions. Right. Let's talk about Spurs 2, Sheffield 1. What a fucking comeback.
What a fucking game. What
Great game.
Story. Oh my God.
Where do you want to begin? Do you want to begin with the most number of yellow cards in this game? Do you want to begin with the late goals from Spurs to get the victory? You want to begin with Heckingbottom's rant at the referees after the game? Where do you want to begin?
Let's begin with Richarlison, because I know we've given him a lot of shit.
Yes.
At the one time you could have praised an Everton player.
Yeah.
Akash
isn't here.
Let's begin with him.
Yeah, let's begin with him because Richarlison finally got his debut goal. For
two things. One is, he did confess of having mental health issues, which is very brave of him.
Yeah.
In this world of football.
Yeah.
I especially believe of him because, he probably has gotten a lot of, he has gotten a lot of stick.
Yeah.
He could have reacted adversely.
Yeah.
But he chose to be sensible about it. Clearly,
Yeah.
something in his life has changed.
Yeah.
So very nice of him. Also, I don't know if you noticed the very marked difference in the way he celebrated the goal that he scored now and
Yeah.
the goal that he scored at Liverpool.
Yeah. T-shirt nahi utara.
Tishan Uttara was a lot more respected the moment.
Yeah.
Kept his head down.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. It really showed some semblance of maturity.
Yes.
Some semblance of a player who's probably going to see goals as a process and not as a result.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. He's just like, I've scored a goal. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's the first of many.
It's my job.
It's my job, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
He wasn't here for the shithousery, which is nice.
And this was a goal that got them level at the very end. It was a very, very big goal, a very important goal. And for that to be your first goal for the club, you would expect a player like Richarlison to be outpouring with emotion.
Yes.
Much like he has in the previous 5 goals that 5-3, whatever, how many ever goals that got chalked out, which was hilarious. But I think it was that thrice bitten 4th time shy or something like that. It was like, I can't keep doing this, dude. I can't keep getting yellow cards because anyway, the entire 22 players have got yellow cards before this. I think everybody, the most number of yellow cards.
Got a yellow card in the first half.
Most number of yellow cards in this match, in one match, happened in this game. Everybody and literally pretty much everybody got a yellow card. So I think that was also why Richarlison didn't take his top off, because he's like, I can't get another yellow card. And I feel like if I take my top off, even if the goal is legal, VAR will look at me taking my top off and be like, no, there's some issue. VAR, goal disallowed. Why? Because he took his top off.
Exactly.
So whatever the reason for the maturity, we're glad that the maturity has come.
Fantastic. Good for him.
Yeah. And then goes on to assist Kulusevski's winner.
And then I think the real, for me, the cherry on the cake was that assist, which I thought was, because he was also superbly calm.
Yeah.
Not just, fuck, I'm on 5. Kulu.
Yeah. Kulu
is also calm.
Kulu Manali.
But I think you would not have, but you would have expect that sort of calmness from Kulu.
Yeah.
Because he's a great player and whatever,
Yeah.
and he's shown that to us before.
Yeah.
But for Richarlison to scan, compose and give the perfect touch so that Kulu can go on to score that goal is an incredible amount of maturity, because I think the goal that he scored was a header, which from a corner, which is, it doesn't really speak much of maturity as much as a skill, which you all agree he always has. But I think this calmness in that assist really shows that Richarlison is a player who could be very useful to this version of Tottenham, and this version of Richarlison with less of the shithousery, I think is fantastic to see.
Yeah.
I think this is the raw talent that we probably all believed, like people all believed in, maybe not we so much.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice to see that the shithousery is reduced, and this is probably what he's going to focus on.
Yeah. 4 wins and 1 draw out of 5 for Tottenham. They're second in the league. It's fantastic, and North London Derby is coming up next, so they're in the best possible place to go into that game. And is it just me, or do we all just love Ange Postecoglou?
Oh my
What
God,
a guy!
What a guy! It's like I was telling you before the podcast, which is that I've always believed that Liverpool have main character energy, and of course each person believes that.
Yeah.
And I think I always believe that even with Liverpool finishing 9th, it's like their story.
Yeah.
But I think the way, and part of it has to do with Klopp, Gerrard, whatever. That's how I believe it.
Yeah.
But I think with the way, the kind of likability that Ange brings, the things that he's saying, his focus on player quality, of course, his tactics are not to be undermined in any form. I think just makes him so likable.
Yeah.
The fact that he went ahead to thank the fans and to celebrate with them.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think before the game he said, I think when someone asked him, are expectations going too high on Tottenham? And he said they should go much higher than they are.
Yeah.
The fans should deserve that, which I think is all the perfect thing to say. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
But also, it shows that he's not crumbling under pressure, which shows that he's not trying to mellow the fans down.
Yeah.
Spurs fans have something to talk about.
And I feel like overall, firstly, he's got cool dad energy.
Yeah, he
like
does.
Serious cool dad energy. Like he's the dad who gives you his beer when you're like 7 years old.
Yep.
You know, he's that dad, right? And I feel like finally Spurs have made the right call in their managerial pursuit, because with Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho before him, the idea was always, look, we've got this fantastic new stadium. We've got Harry Kane, we've got Heung-min Son, we've got these world-class talented players who can perform, who have the ability to title challengers, to be regular fixtures in the Champions League, to be a regular top 4 side. But they've always hired managers who were bigger than the club, who were their own enigmas.
Yeah, and also extremely temperamental.
Extremely temperamental, yes, but they were the stars of their own story. They weren't there for Spurs. They were there for themselves.
Yeah.
And in a short term, yes, that can provide a boost. That can be a case of, look, this is a guy who's won Champions Leagues, who's won Premier Leagues, and now he's come to manage Spurs, and he can recreate that form here. We are thinking big. We are thinking long term. But that's never going to work because those guys won those titles at the peak of their career and they're not there anymore, which is why they're at Spurs.
Yeah.
And that's something that Daniel Levy and the Spurs board took a little longer to realize. And I feel like finally they've realized that. I feel like letting Harry Kane go has been a great decision. Because that was always going to be a monkey on their back. That was always going to be a distraction. That was always something that was going to be at the back of everybody's minds at that club. What's going to happen when Kane leaves? Yeah. What's going to happen? How are we going to deal? How are we going to deal? How are we going to deal? But they finally ripped that band-aid off. And they're like, okay, fine, it's done. Now we have to deal.
Yeah.
There's no question of how are we going to. No, it's done. We are going to. We have to figure out how. And having Ange Postecoglou there to kind of guide them through that process is great because he is somebody who's not at that level as Mourinho, who's not achieved as much as Mourinho, but he has achieved in Scotland, he has achieved with Celtic, he has achieved in Japan. So he comes with a certain pedigree and he comes with something that, he comes with an experience that other managers in the Premier League don't have, right? He brings a completely unique point of view to the Premier League that is a little hard for other teams to also find out.
I think more importantly, since he brings one thing which has been missing since Pochettino, which is patience.
Yes.
I think maybe Spurs players, because of the kind of managers they've been hired, because of the pressure of the stadium, because of Harry Kane wanting, the captain wanting trophies, my crime is running out. They've never been given time, and that sort of impatience sort of obviously gets to players, right? And obviously Spurs are the kind of team, obviously, for whatever, they don't have the superstars. But so they have players who are supremely talented. Definitely the tier 2, tier 3 levels of players who need time, who need patience, who probably need a lot of reassurance. And in Ange, for the first time since Pochettino, you have someone who slowly built his career, starting from Australia, doing really well in Asia, then going to Scotland, has come here. He's probably a lot older than most of the managers, but he's
not that old.
Sure, but I'm saying much older in terms of experience, maybe. Like
you fucked up that one. There's no point in trying to save it. He's not that old, dude.
How old is he?
He's not that old, dude. He is not that old. I'm just looking it up. He's like, dude, he's 58.
Oh my God, Amogh, 58 is so old. What are you saying?
58 is young,
okay,
dude.
Amogh fucked up that one.
58 is quite
not young. What are you saying? Okay,
fine. This is a league that has Roy Hodgson. He's what, 78?
Wait.
Are you looking for oldest managers in the Premier League?
Wait, an average age of Premier League managers.
Okay, while you're doing that, we'll continue talking about everything else that we...
48 years.
So he's 10 years over average. Fine.
Which is a huge... 10 years is a huge amount. That's the time that United have gone without winning, I think, the Premier League.
First James Ward-Prowse, then this, overall Man United. I'm not having a good week at all.
Not having a good week.
Yeah, anyway.
But I think for the first time, you have someone who's got patience to the team. Who has probably given them reassurance, which I think is a fantastic, something that Spurs clearly needed, and probably most people didn't know that that's what they needed. But he's gotten that. And I think one of the nice things that he said was when he was asked about Richarlison's mental health issues, I thought he said something really nice, which is that he didn't say, oh yeah, I helped him with it. He didn't try to take credit for it. He just said, I don't know. I left it to better professionals to take care of it. And from now on, I will take more care of it. Which I thought is the perfect answer. Which I'm sure is the truth. I'm not saying it's a calculated answer, but I thought it was the perfect thing to say. So I think that's great. It's really nice to see him for the first time. For the first time, Spurs seems like a team you genuinely want to follow, not just for the jokes of games. Which I think is great.
Which is fantastic. Let's talk about Postecoglou's opposite number, Paul Heckingbottom, which is the best name in Premier League football.
Which is the most average British name.
Heckingbottom.
Heckingbottom.
Like, it's just amazing. But so he's under pressure for sure because Sheffield are not doing well. And he had a rant about the referees. He had a rant about the referees because of the way the referees were officiating the game, the type of yellow cards that Sheffield were given. And he said that it was everybody, that not just Sheffield United, but even Spurs were annoyed at the referees. And he defended himself and his comments by saying that it's not because they won right at the end. I've been shouting about the referees when it was 0-0 and when it was 1-0. And at one point he said, the referees told me to play it long.
There's two things, right? Which I think is a damn funny thing that the referee said, which is telling the managers the tactics, which is just hilarious. Which also probably my referees being like, "Why are two new manager?" Right? Like Klopp and Pep and all haven't been like they haven't been giving us so much shit at press conferences. So calm down.
Yeah.
That's one. Second, I actually agree with him. I do think refs. I feel like whenever there's a new thing, refs overdo it. They overdid it. This new time they do extra. They go like they overdo the rule.
Yeah.
Which is terrible, which I think are ruining the game anyway. I think it's too long games now. I think they should add on a little time, but I think 10 minutes, etc. is an insane amount of time.
Yeah.
It's going to kill the players. But anyway, so I think they're overdoing with the time. Second thing, I think he was right, but I think in this particular instance, he was wrong because the referee is right. I think what was his problem? Their tactics was to play short passes from the goalkeeper, but Spurs were smart enough to cut out those short passes.
Yeah.
There's only one option, which is you play long.
Yeah.
Right? You can't be like, "Arey, give me time, we have to change tactics." But he's right overall. But I think Heckingbottom's wrong in this one.
I think his ego came into way. The referee's a better manager than I am. This is weird. But yes, that was Spurs versus Sheffield. Very quickly, Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 0. Possibly the most boring game of the weekend.
Yeah, it happened.
It happened. Cool. Mudryk failed yet again. Jackson got close. But yeah, the game happened. 0-0. Chelsea fans, that's all you get from us this week. Fuck you, because it was a boring. United losing 3-1 to Brighton was way more entertaining than this game. So, as a United fan, it's one sort of moral victory for me. But let's also now go to Everton 0, Arsenal 1. First victory for Arsenal at Goodison Park since 2017. It sounds ridiculous that that's the case.
It sounds like almost made up. Like I can't believe that's actually the statistic.
Yeah. It sounds as made up as most of Everton's players. Jared Branthwaite, that just sounds like a generated
name, right?
Yeah, Beto. What? Beto was great story, by the way. Like 2 years ago or something, he was working at KFC. So fantastic rise to stardom, rise to the Premier League. Well done. I really hope he does well.
And he does look like he will be some sort of an Everton.
Yeah.
Even if not a legend, a cult hero who will score a few goals. Yeah. Give them some hope briefly.
No, I purely for Akarsh's sake, I really hope that it works out. But the interesting thing about this was, I mean, of course, yes, fucking Trossard scored the goal in the 68, 69 minute or whatever. That's fine. But the big thing was that Arsenal started David Raya over Aaron Ramsdale. So David Raya made his debut in goal for Arsenal this game. And Mikel Arteta gave his reasons for it. He defended it. He said that, look, there is going to be a time when managers start substituting keepers mid-game. Gabriel Jesus was on the bench, but I'm not asked questions about that. And he's won more trophies than anyone in that dressing room, even me. But the fact that he's on the bench doesn't make any difference to anyone. But because I've started David Raya or Ramsdale, that seems to have elicited a lot more questions. So why is that? And he said that as a young manager, he's had a few regrets about what he's done. And one of them was that in 2 occasions, I felt after 60 minutes and 85 minutes in 2 games to change the keeper in that moment. But I didn't do it. I didn't have the courage to do it. He is going to change how keepers play. Like he is becoming Pep Guardiola.
Okay, honestly, I think this sounds like us. Or maybe I'll regret this in a year when this becomes the new thing.
Yeah.
But this sounds like one of those like, hey, what will Pep do next? You know, like if SNL did a sketch of Pep Guardiola, this is the kind of thing that they'll do.
Yeah.
Because see, the only thing that really for a goalkeeper, what changes at 60th minute is probably concentration issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you're admitting that Ramsdale is a keeper who has severe concentration issues.
Yeah.
Then why is he there in the first place?
Yeah.
Because any keeper, look, none of the greats, right? Fucking none of the greats, even the mediocres. None of them have had. I don't know if goalkeepers have. If teams have consistently let in goals after the 60th minute, it's never really come down to the goalkeeper as much as tired legs of the midfielders and defenders. It's never been, the goalkeepers are really shit one after. So I don't know what this tactic is to change goalkeepers. And if goalkeepers having a severe dip in concentration, you're going to change the keeper, or are you going to push, or is he like, if Pep Guardiola did it, it's because Ederson can be a midfielder.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he can do it. This seems like strangeness for the sake of strangeness.
How can I be Pep without being as talented as Pep?
Yeah, but again, maybe we'll realize.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, we've discussed this one before that maybe the next thing has to be that goalkeepers get so talented with their footwork that you can have a player change their position within the game so that it's like a half substitution within the game.
Yeah.
That a central back defender can become a keeper and a keeper can become a central defender, something of that sort.
Yeah.
That if he had done that, that sounds like something new and crazy, and maybe that is the next step in football.
Yeah.
But this just seems like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I hope to be wrong about my.
Yeah.
And it's going to be I ate some of my own humble pie or
Yeah.
whatever. But just
Sounds
absurdity
good.
for the sake of absurdity.
Right. That's it for the Premier League. We'll end the episode with just one quick story about Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has recently been caught in a doping scandal because after a recent game where, again, his return to Juventus has not been great. I don't think Paul Pogba should return to previous clubs of his. His return to United wasn't great. His return to Juventus isn't great. He's been injured for most of his time at Juventus, and now that he's come back, apparently he's been caught in a doping scandal. A large amount of non-naturally occurring testosterone was found in his sample, and he could face up to 4 years away from football.
Which is career done, I think. Let's be honest. He's about 30 right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
34.
Yeah.
He's not going to find even takers in Turkey.
Yeah.
Maybe they might reduce the sentence a
Yeah.
year or later, but it's definitely a year or two out.
Yeah.
And with the kind of injuries, Saudi move maybe in a year or two with a reduced sentence.
Yeah.
If not even that.
Yeah, but we still have to see what happens because the B sample, I don't know if the B sample results have come in yet. So we don't know if that is actually going to work in his favor or not. So we'll keep everybody updated on what's happening on this as soon as we get more news about it as well. And with that, it is time to end this episode. It's been a long episode. It is time to go. I don't know if listeners can hear the Ganpati sounds in the background. If you can, we are really sorry. We can't do anything about it. But that means that there is going to be traffic for us to reach home. So we will call it a night right about now. Thank you so much for listening to the Conflag. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at
Mukesh Manjunath.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amogh and Mukesh.
That's because his name is Lubba
Big Dom. Big Dom.
Big Dom.
Just call me Big Dom. You can also follow the Conflag on Instagram and Twitter at @ConflagPod. Do visit our brand new YouTube channel. We are very close to 100 subscribers, guys. So for the people who have subscribed, thank you. But for those of you who haven't, just go to youtube.com/@ConflagPod and hit that subscribe button, because the more subscribers we get, the more cool things we can start doing on YouTube. Do you want full video episodes? We are working on it, but we need more subscribers to make that a reality. So go on, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends to subscribe as well. You will see snippets of the show in video format. You will see YouTube shorts. You'll see YouTube lives that we'll be doing this season before the big games. We'll be releasing info about that very, very soon. We've done one live already, so more are definitely on the way. It's a lot of fun. Do subscribe. Also subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And do not forget to give us a 5-star review. Shout out to Kezad Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me. We got goals, we got comebacks, we got yellow cards, but most importantly, Richarlison got a goal. Welcome to the Corner Flag. I'm Amogh.
I'm Mukesh.
And that's just it. You have to say, and I'm Mukesh. You're the only person here apart from me.
Oh my God, Amogh, stop being so pedantic and stickler for rules.
We will take this again. We got goals, we got comebacks, we got yellow cards, but it was such a nice take. Why did you fuck it up?
I didn't fuck it up. People know who I am, and that's it. They don't need to know.
It's the format, Mukesh. It's the format. If there's two people, you don't say I'm Mukesh expecting some ghost to come in with, and I'm Casper the Friendly Ghost.
It's fine. No one's really going to miss Akash.
It's English. Fuck Akash. It's English.
Amogh, the people who are listening to this podcast don't care.
Fine.
They just care about whether we talk about football or not. We talk football, they like.
Okay, fine. But we are taking this the third time.
Let's go.